Am I the butthole for giving away my grandparents' gift intended for my fiancé? Every year, my grandparents give $300 to their single grandchildren and $500 to their married grandchildren, along with a note that says to share with your spouse. When opening up our gifts this year, I noticed my cousin, who had recently married his gay boyfriend, only received $300 while my fiancé and I received $500. I handed 200s from my envelope to my cousin in front of everyone, which caused quite the scene. My family is very religious and refused to accept gay marriage as legitimate. They refuse to acknowledge his husband as a member of our family and tell him he is going to hell unless he changes his lifestyle. I defended my decision by saying, "We're not married yet, and they are. I think there's been a mistake." Conversations quickly devolved, resulting in both my cousin and I leaving shortly after. My family insights it was not my money to give and my actions disrespected both my grandparents and my fiancé. My fiancé feels my family was welcoming her, and I rejected her in front of everyone. Am I the butthole? Update: cousin is taking us out tonight dinner with their $200. NTA. Your silence and acceptance of the money would have been complicit in your grandparents' homophobia. Good for you. Your fiancé needs to see the bigger picture. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised the fiancé is upset. If my boyfriend had done what original post did, I would just be extremely proud. It's not about the fiancé at all. She feels it was our gift, but I made a decision like it was my gift. She also doesn't like to make waves and would have preferred to thank my grandparents while handling the situation with my cousin in private. Your fiancé is a coward in the face of blatant homophobia, and if that's what you want to marry, feel free. Seriously. The fiancé feels slighted by original post, once. That cousin has genuinely been slighted, rejected, and insulted who knows how many times, just for loving who they love. These things are not equal. I'm generally not the type to jump to things like maybe don't marry this person because of this one incident, but if the fiancé's take on this situation is seriously "but what about me?" then I'd be considering having a come to Jesus meeting with myself about who my fiancé really is as a person, and whether I want to marry that person. God forbid his fiancé has a gay child who has to deal with the same homophobic family and a mother who doesn't want to make waves. I'm proud of OP. Public displays of support is the only support that matters. OP. Start making your own Christmas traditions with cousin and his husband. F homophobes edit. I think it's time to start a specialized movement. Psycho grin tie for the award. It is amazing and I love it. I'm sorry, I know I'll get downvoted to hell for this, but the phrasing of your comment is unintentionally hilarious. I'm pretty gay and I found it hilarious. Doot doot. You folks are all right in my books, the people in this thread. Doot doot to you too. You all need to chill on the fiancé, and I say this as someone in a committed gay relationship where my partner and I have been rejected from his family. We don't know their financial situation and it was the fiancé's money too. It was intended for both of them. It is not the fiancé's responsibility or duty to sacrifice to make things right. What original post did is very admirable, but he should have consulted with her first, and he should apologize for giving a decent sum of their money away without consulting her first, and explain it's just something he felt had to be done. Neither he nor his girlfriend are in the wrong. Edit. I'm also talking about this as the simplest terms. It's also subjecting the fiancé to all sorts of family and personal relationship dynamics. Edit, and to the they are not married people. If he made an AITA in a different timeline saying am I the butthole for keeping all $500 because she isn't my wife yet, you all would vote yes. Get over the technicalities and look at the situation realistically. Okay, but they were giving $500 and the cousin was given $300. He gave the cousin $200 out of $500. If the $500 was split evenly between them, it would be $250 each. So he didn't give away their money, he gave away his half of the money given to both of them. She still can have her half. There is no legitimate reason for her to be remotely upset at this situation. Edit. For one, I would like to say thank you very much for the award. I would also like to add that I see now that she is in her rights to be upset at the fact that she was kind of put in an awkward situation when she seems to not know his family super well. If anything, it's on the original post for making it seem like she was more upset about the money. If that isn't the case, then I don't think either of them are TAs, just that next time he should communicate with her. Thank you for explaining the math so I don't have to. The fiancé has lost nothing. Original post has this. The fiancé isn't even affected by the situation. She has her half of the money and she didn't stand up for the cousin. She has no right to be mad. Not to mention she would have gotten zero money if she hadn't been in a relationship with Op. That's where I was thinking, my boyfriend and I got $50, and some Yankee candles, from his mom and stepdad this year. Not once did I think it was mine. It's from his family. Then again, even if my name were on the check and Op's situation was present, I would have supported my BF. Even if I were struggling. That is disgusting and unfair that his cousin got less just because he is in a non-traditional marriage, while original post isn't even married yet. F that noise. NTA. Found this comment from the Op. She said she would have elected to do it privately and avoid creating adversarial relationships. Or at the very least present it publicly but as a collective decision. So no, it doesn't appear to be about the money but about the decision being a team decision. I'd say the fiancé is much more passive and original post didn't do it to create drama but to call out grandma for being homophobic. If everyone wants to get pissed off about it, let them. Should original post have probably asked the fiancé first? Maybe. Either way it's done and I don't think the fiancé should be that upset. I think the timing of the action is important. By doing it right in front of everyone it is clear that what the grandparents were doing was, without a doubt, offensive and bigoted. Had he waited and discussed it with the fiancé, like he had to think about it, the action would come off like it required contemplation to know that it was bigoted and wrong. It is really sad that the fiancé is making this about her not wanting to make waves. While I can only speak for myself, when I was around family members who did not support me after I came out, having a close relative willing to sacrifice their social standing and stand up for me would have meant the world. And the money was a gift, not taken out of a shared account. Original post can do what they want with their gift, without their fiancé's permission. I disagree that she doesn't have the right to be upset he gave away his half. In a relationship with shared goals, his money or lack thereof affects her. As commenter above said, we don't know their situation. If my husband gives away his money according to this logic, I can't complain since I still have my own, but if his giving away that money results in our inability to pay rent, it's certainly a problem. That $250 might have been something that could have gone towards a shared goal, a house repair, a replacement for an appliance that broke down, etc. I absolutely agree with original post calling out the grandparents right then and there, but his unilateral decision on their shared money was a misstep. She has a right to feel upset at that, but only at that. If the couple is building their budget based on gifts, she should spend less time worrying about her relationship of kissing up to the homophobic grandparents and more time getting them both second jobs. This should not have been expected income in her eyes. Speaking as a poor people who is also LGBTQ, I literally dance right on the poverty line. I don't care how poor you are, there are better solutions than selling out your oppressed family members and their right to a safe life. She didn't have a right to that money by anyone's standards except hers. Not even the gifter's standards, because they're not married and it's specifically for married couples. That is the one condition that they actually spelled out before gifting the money. I'm LGBT too and I feel your stance is very hey, if you got to kick the black kids out of the pool to get your $50 tip from the white customers, it is what it is. No, we don't know their money situation. But the entire point of the action was to be a here and now immediate and public rejection of the homophobia. Not something he'd go talk privately about and negotiate to see if it'd be okay to let slide or not. I agree, and he did it saying there must have been a mistake, giving the grandparents an easy out. They then showed their asses by doubling down on the homophobia and insisting it was not an oversight but an intentional slight. But they are not married. He should have only received $300. He didn't give anything that belonged to her away. You missed the whole part that says they ain't married but the others are, as he mentioned spouse. I'm gay myself and the principle that original post showed here makes waves and will mean a lot more than the actual money. I'm all for all honesty and open communication with partners, especially if committed, but there are times when one partner can / should make a decision that does not need to be discussed, not applies to everything, only small things, if their partner has the capacity to understand why they have done such a thing later, as I'm sure original post made a quick decision from the sound of it. If it's bad then obviously be angry / upset, but if it's good like ops then she should see that and not make it about herself. In a relationship, you sometimes allow the other person to make decisions without your input because you trust they will make the best/generally good decision and you'd agree with it and go with it. An original post used his brain and thought this is a good outcome, and in this case it is. She should see that. I might be biased, but I don't know. It's always best to stand up for someone than accept some petty cash. I know Op's partner does not want to make a scene and sympathize, but good judgment is good judgment. No one is saying she can't still have her $200, even though they aren't married. He can keep $100 and give her the rest if she's really upset about it. But it wasn't her rocking the boat, and I don't think it will look bad on her, which it seems she is also worried about. Because she agreed with discussing it in private with the cousin, even though it would kind of negate the message, it at least shows that she was open to it. I think the root of the problem is she is taking offense to the comment about them not being married yet, without considering the cousin's marriage isn't even being recognized, so she's already being used as a pawn by the family to slap it in the cousin's face. Setting pride aside, she might realize he wasn't intending to hurt her with that comment. If he has to apologize for that, so be it, because she was probably already stressed about being accepted. Nah, accept the family. Yeah, thank you for pointing out some of the finer implications as well. I'm sure she does see the bigger picture, but also is dealing with all the other implications. If they are not married, because of the tradition, it was his money. The note says share with, not split with. They still have $150 each left, which is more than enough to still get something nice. Or it could even be that he gives her $250 and keep $50 for himself. As the fiancé, you should support the choices your partner makes when it's about moral high grounds. You all need to chill on the fiancé, and I say this as someone in a committed gay relationship where my partner and I have been rejected from his family. As a pansexual woman, I think original post did the right thing and needs to take a look at the relationship. You do not speak for all LGBT people, and neither do I. There was still $300 to split. She is just greedy. NTA. The money was a gift, so it was yours to do whatever you wanted with. You made a point to your family and stuck up for your cousin's relationship. Good for you. Maybe have a word with your fiancé to reiterate it wasn't a message for her. Yeah. Even if the action wasn't to prove a point, I think this is what a good, and not homophobic, person would do. NTA. Original post is a good person. NTA. You framed it perfectly for making it fit into their gifting rules. They're just mad that you called out their bigotry. Keep up the good work. Agree with this. You handled it beautifully. Great job, and keep supporting your cousin. Also, their whole thing of saying it isn't Op's gift to give is bullcrap. The money was a gift to you. Once something is gifted, it belongs to the recipient to do with as they please. Sure, it may be to share with your spouse, but even then usually assets in a marriage are considered shared and thus owned by both sides. So still technically yours to do with as you please once in your possession. Honestly, I am also a little concerned with the fact that the fiancé reacted the way she did. I get not liking giving away money considered shared without asking her first, but her wording she chose makes me question if she might be a little greedy and throwing some red flags. I'd be petty enough to start making a show of gifting the money they give me to charities I know they wouldn't like rather than keeping it for me if they want to be so crafty about it. NTA, your family sucks. Anyways, you can just give $250 to your fiancé and say that you gave money from your half to your cousin. This is good. But I don't think she was annoyed because of the money but because of the scene. The scene that her fiancé is not responsible for. Op has said that his fiancé was upset about him making a decision over their gift as if it was just his gift, as well as the scene. Setting aside how if that were true they would have just given original post $300 and his fiancé $200 instead of giving him $500 and asking him to share, Op's fiancé just put a specific price on her willingness to accept homophobia. For $400 maybe she'll allow slurs to be thrown. Details over who had the right to make what decision about how the gift money is used is missing the forest for the trees. Info. Did the resulting situation and early departure upset your cousin? Would he have preferred to fly under the radar and enjoy the festivities and deal with it later? If the answer to the question is no, it did not bother him. Then NTA. That $500 was your money, to do whatever you want with. You can give it away, you can make a paper fan out of it, you can practice origami, and you can spend it on anything. It was yours. And your family sounds like a bunch of bigots. No, more like they knew the day would be awkward and the situation was a perfect excuse to leave. Yeah, then perfect. NTA. Was your cousin's husband there? Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.